Just in case you haven't seen what's going on in the league right now, you should be able to tell by the title of this video. The Charlotte Hornets made a trade, big trade.
Big trade.
They've traded LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for 3 first-round pick swaps, 3 second-round picks, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, and Naz Reid. Yikes. Stateside umph. Let's not waste any time. What was your immediate reaction when you saw the shocking news?
What on earth are Charlotte doing? That's my reaction. That's been my reaction since. I still, and this story came out a couple hours ago. I still don't understand where Charlotte's head's at with this whole trading of LaMelo. For what? For what reason? For why? It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm saying, I obviously made a couple of TikToks about it, just saying it was the hope that kills you. If you're a Charlotte fan, you had a great second half of the season, just missed out on the playoffs by 1 game. Albeit you got blown out by the Magic, but still, you're 1 game away from making the playoffs. But for the first time since 2016, Charlotte has not made the playoffs for 10 years. I think it's the longest running streak in the NBA right now, an unwanted streak. And like I'm saying, it's the whole Charlotte was one of the teams outside of OKC, of course, was one of the teams that I was looking forward to watch next season. Not only because of like the promising talent, is the style of basketball, is the restoring of the feeling of like free flowing type, high octane type basketball that actually generate wins. And who was the head of the snake of all of that? LaMelo Ball. And like I said, I understand his off-court issues, I understand his durability issues, but you don't let go of a talent like that. First point guards, every team in the leagues is looking for it. You have one, 24-year-old, and you let him go for what? Naz Reid and a first-round pick in 7 years' time? Unfortunately, bad teams are always going to find a way to mess things up. And this is the latest case of that.
Excuse me. I know. Apparently, just don't know how to read the technology. Excuse me. And excuse you as well for poo-pooing a very bold, brave decision by the Charlotte Hornets. Because, look, I was one of those people that coming into the season, I said this is a big season for LaMelo because, you know, people weren't... What's the word I should be using here? People were sleeping on the fact that this was the best team that he's had in Charlotte, like, you know, since he's come into the league. So with this, with him not being able to stay healthy, with him being so inconsistent when he was on the court anyway, this was really a bit make or break is what I called it in a few you can see in a few videos across our socials. You know, I called this in regards to, look, if these guys have an, you know, underwhelming season or underperforming season, then, you know, what's left in regards to doing something new and shifting in a new direction? LaMelo got to go somewhere else. And, you know, there was teams like the Magic. There were teams like, oh, they're not coming to my head right now, but the Magic specifically was one that I was thinking, there's teams that could use a point guard of LaMelo's stature, because let's not get it twisted. This is a very talented guy. He's one of the better point guards in the league, you know, at his, when he's really rolling. 6'7" guy, you know, pass first as well. Can score with the best of them when he's really got it going as well. Obviously a great shooter. Questionable shot selection is always been a thing. However, no denying the talent that is there. However, him being, you know, number 1 option in a Charlotte Hornets situation that really and truly was never going anywhere, fast anyway, why not? Why not, you know, do something that's going to shake up the foundations of the franchise? We're going to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves side of it in a second, but, you know, you get Naz Reid, who's a more than competent big. He's great. And he's been, you know, angling to start, you know, if not for the Timberwolves, for somebody else, in this case, the Charlotte Hornets. He's been angling for a start for a very long time now because he's a talented player. And we've been discussing, you know, what's his name? Cod Knuppel. We've been discussing him all this time in regards to our Rookie of the Year. Look at the season he's having. And I asked you the question a few months ago, is this potentially the new face of the franchise? Well, newsflash, buddy. Yes, it is. And from the level, at the level that he was playing at, the Charlotte Hornets brass obviously decided that, you know what? We're comfortable because we have a guy who is, you know, call it what you like, white America, you know, good shooter, could develop into something special. You've told me that he's more... You've told me that he's more than a shooter as well. You know, he's more than that. So, if anything, from what he's going to develop into, it could be something nice. It could be something, you know, on the level of what LaMelo is at the moment. Maybe one day. So if I'm, to say anything in regards to what the Charlotte Hornets did, pulling this trigger, getting LaMelo out of there, bringing in Naz Reid and bringing in a lot of picks, by the way, for the future, coupled with the young players that they have on their roster, I'm not going to poo-poo it at all. I think that's a very brave decision, and I hope it goes well for them.
I mean, yeah, of course you hope it goes well for them, but I'm saying this is a promising team. You've just traded away your best player. You seen how much I've paraded with Con being Rookie of the Year, but that's not a franchise cornerstone type player. As much as I love Concanopo, his game doesn't scream that. It's LaMelo's. I'm saying it wasn't just the wins that they were accumulating; it was the brand of basketball. I was tuning into Hornets games, knowing that I'm going to watch a great brand of basketball. Is the restoring? I don't think people understand with sports and fans is can your team restore the feeling? Can they play a brand of football, basketball, whatever sport it is, that makes you think, I can't wait to watch the next game. I have to tune in tonight to watch.
You still can.
No, they can't. But that's the point I'm trying to get across. You have let go of your best player in LaMelo. That brand of basketball that LaMelo and the Hornets played last season, I will be very surprised if they replicate that next season with Kobe White and whoever else they have with Concanopo and these guys.
I'll read you the roster.
It just won't happen.
I'll read you their roster, and you can tell me if this is something, talented or whatever the case is. They've got Kobe White there, who's obviously signed an extension as well. That has to be mentioned. So that was obviously a motivating factor because they knew what they had in the fridge in Kobe White. So he's there. Trey Mann's there. Pat Connaughton's there. Good vet. Sion James, Concanopo, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Saloon, Grant Williams, Liam McNeely, Naz Reid, Diabate, Kalkbrenner, Xavier Tillman. Didn't even know he was there. Listen, they even got a Boobman, the Brit that he was on the Nets and the Knicks not that long ago. Listen, they got the nucleus of a good little team over there, And LaMelo was there. What did he do with it? Not much. What I mean?
What did the kids say? Put the fries in the bag, bro. That doesn't.
I don't know if it is put the fries in the bag thing,
bro. It doesn't, bro. I'm saying it don't fill me with excitement, but I'm saying I watched a lot of Hornets games the second half of the season. And I was very critical of LaMelo. Remember, I kept saying his shot selection, as you mentioned, that like for a pass for point guard, you're shooting too many threes, averaging 10 threes a game, only making like mid 30%. It's not great. But I'm saying is how quick they played, how he kick ahead passes, like they were playing attractive random basketball.
You're kidding? Kobe White couldn't do nothing. Like, is not going to do anything like that,
bro. They've got Kobe White, not Bryant.
Bro,
I mean, let's have
Kobe White's a good player, bro. Good player.
But that's what you're saying. What's
LaMelo done not that long ago with the Bulls?
I'm saying, bro, what were the Bulls doing? The Bulls aren't really doing much with Kobe White with the rock in his hands.
Nah, there weren't a lot of talent on that team, man. There weren't a lot of talent on that team. There's talent on this team.
He's capable of hitting, taking and making big shots, as you saw in those playing games. But I'm just saying, over an 82 game sample size, LaMelo was obviously getting back to a point where, or was getting to a point in his career where he was now forced to play grown-up basketball. I mean, there's a lot of question marks saying, is he just like a TikTok type baller? Is he just highlight real merchant? Like when you're now playing in games that have real jeopardy, how do you play? Do you play more smartly? Do you now attack the rim as you saw against Miami in those two big buckets that he had? You're seeing like a real leader slowly but surely showing.
Yeah.
And then you get rid of that. For what reason?
Do you think that, play style aside, that LaMelo Ball is good enough to be a number one option on the championship winning team?
I mean, championship winning team, that's obviously an answer that I just won't have at this moment in time. But...
well, that's what the Timberwolves have tried to trade for, because they needed to get some talent in the door, because, they let go of Randall. You'd like to think that wasn't going to be the last move they made. And now they've done this. They've sold the farm, essentially, to get LaMelo in the door. So if they don't think, or if you don't think that he's a championship, number one option, number two option, whatever the case is, then, we'll talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves in a second. But this is, it's spooky, for lack of better words. You can't just stay in Charlotte and rock for the rest of your career. That's not what you play, basketball for. You try to play to win championships, no?
But then they were building something. He's only 24. He's still young. They were building something, because you have to go through the necessary steps. As I was saying, obviously with like Wemby and these young players, you have to go through the steps of knowing how to lead a team, knowing when you get into the postseason, how do you play? Like I'm saying, when there's jeopardy on the line, instead of just playing freely when you're averaging 20, 30 wins a season, not going anywhere. The Hornets were looking to turn a corner with LaMelo leading that. And they let him go. For what? I'm not even a Hornets fan. I'm pissed.
So you don't think that the Hornets, because like I said, we'll talk about the Timberwolves in a second, but you don't think the Hornets have, you basically said you don't know what you're doing. You don't think they're going to be successful in the
They
future.
don't know
You
what
don't
they're
believe in
doing.
Brandon Miller. You don't believe in Knipple. You don't believe in Kobe White. You don't believe in nothing that they got going on over
It's
there.
not that I don't believe in it. I just think there's a ceiling that they've just now capped on them by getting rid of LaMelo. I got a couple Hornets fans in my group chat on TikTok. They're pissed. Some of them are saying we're going to Minnesota now. Like goodbye Charlotte, bro. They don't want no part of that. The team that you read to me. I don't care about none of that, man. I mean,
Hold on a minute. Hold
what's
on.
what's going on?
Hold on a minute. Am
Well, I
I
guess you got
seeing some?
AJ
Am I seeing
Possessor.
something, brother? Wait there. We'll talk about the Timberwolves very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. But unless I'm not reading something right, yeah. I think another trade might have just landed.
Nico
Hold on a
pass to
minute.
Real Madrid.
That's a good deal, by the way.
I've just seen that now.
9 million euros. Yes,
I've just seen
please.
that now. Yeah, they just bullied them into getting him, bro.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to edit this now, but that's okay. Where's Shams? Because I
Yeah,
need to. I need
and
to.
raw and uncut.
Raw and you know what? It might be raw and uncut. Basically, let me show you what I'm seeing here.
What's going on?
Because oh no, it's just okay. I didn't read it very well, but essentially what I've seen is you've seen number 2 on the screen, and
Oh,
Brian
yeah.
Windows is reporting that after the investigation, Kawhi Leonard could be on the move to the Pistons. So we'll have more on that as things come through.
I mean,
Maybe we might get 2 videos. I don't know.
I'm saying, I mean, the LaMelo talk obviously was kind of brewing 2 days ago, and now look, here we are. So,
well, maybe, like I said, maybe we might be in front of you boys and girls, of course, in the near future again. But let's go to Minnesota now because, that is the A side. LaMelo is now a Timberwolf, let's get it right though, Stateside Humph. He's not going, to like a situation where it's like, yeah, it's starting a new chapter, it's starting fresh. However, there's no messing around. The Timberwolves have sold the farm to try and get him here. They got no more picks now. They took Naz Reid and got him out of there. They love Naz Reid in Minnesota.
they do love Naz Reid in Minnesota.
And now he's not there because LaMelo's there now. So that signals to me, Stateside Humph, that they believe that this is a piece that's going to help them win a championship. Is it not? That's what they're thinking in Minnesota.
I mean, that's kind of what the move entails. If you're saying we're getting rid of the whole, kitchen sink with Naz Reid as well, as you mentioned, former 6th man of the year, then you're saying LaMelo's ready. I mean, he's ready to accompany Ant and like be his, Robin to his Batman to try and win to get to the finals, basically, or try and win the championship. The West is stacked. I mean, you've got OKC and San Antonio 1 and 2, Minnesota back-to-back conference finals. Obviously, some Minnesota fans would say to you, if Ant wasn't injured, if DiVincenzo didn't tear his Achilles, we might have beaten the inexperienced Spurs team. We might have got to back-to-back conference finals. But obviously that didn't happen. So now I'm saying you're throwing the kitchen sink at LaMelo when, like I'm saying, he's only now learning his game to the level of playing serious basketball because his whole career in the NBA he hasn't. So it's a big risk. It's a big swing. But that's why I think I just don't know how it work. I'll have to see it for myself to see this LaMelo's game and Ant's game. Does it mesh? Obviously, the bigs that they have in Minnesota, they don't really have many. I think is Rudy and not that many. I don't know how much of a lob threat he is.
Little one, a cheeky one. You can get up there.
But he don't really have great hands. So I'm just saying, having a pass first point guard in LaMelo obviously is good, but then again, durability issues, off the court issues. Like he is very outspoken, just like Ant as well. How their personality is going to clash? Is it just going to kind of blend into their style of play to get to get some sort of highlights and stuff like that? But in terms of like winning basketball, I don't see it, bro. I don't see it.
Well, me and you are just on different sides of the coin with both of these things. You don't really like it for the Hornets, and you don't really like it for the Timberwolves, it seems like as well.
I hate it for the Hornets.
I don't mind it for the Hornets, and I don't mind it for the Timberwolves either. Because I was saying for quite a while now that listen, they got to get some point guard play in Minnesota, man. Mike Conley's cool, I guess. DiVincenzo's cool, but he's not a point guard, really and truly, is he?
He's got an Achilles injury as well, so something had to happen
as well. And he was always better off the ball to me, at least. That's where, at least in New York, he was thriving because Jalen Brunson was, main ball handler, getting everyone involved. You see, you moving LaMelo over there. in regards to, look, if this is one of the best point guards that are available, then you do what you've got to do. I understand the move. I understand that, especially when Ant was to sit down and Julius Randle was the primary ball handler. Well, you saw how that, played out. So it makes sense why they got rid of Julius Randle, and it makes sense why they've got now a secondary ball handler. Well, in a way, secondary ball handler, because that's Ant's team. He's still number one option. He's still the closer. He's still everything to Minnesota. But you bring somebody in LaMelo Ball that he could trust on the ball, just because he's gonna know when it's time to get guys involved. He's gonna know when to pick up the pace. He's gonna know when to move around. He's gonna know when the big man Rudy. He's getting a bit stiff with some touches. Let me get him a little something, man. This is why you bring elite point guard play in, and when you have the chance to do it, you do it. Is this a better fit to what Julius Randle was supposed to bring them, and what LaMelo was, I'd like to think, is going to bring them? I'd like to think so. Just because, look, now you don't have somebody who's in a way clogging up the lanes. You have somebody who's not so head down to the basket and let me run there and see what happens. You have somebody that is not that much more controlled. LaMelo's a little bit of a basket case when it comes to his shot selection, as we mentioned, numerous times. However, you have somebody that you trust a little bit more in certain situations. I'd like to think that you would agree in regards to, more situations you're going to give the ball to LaMelo Ball rather than Julius Randle. So for what the Timberwolves have brought in and what they're thinking in bringing in LaMelo Ball, paying an expensive price for him, don't mind it. He just needs to prove to me how mature he is in regards to you're in a championship winning situation. Like, you don't have time to be messing around. And can you stay healthy? Because that's always been a black spot on his career, that he can't stay on the court for more than 50 games. Moderately healthy this year, and we're thankful for it because we saw some exciting basketball and he got them into a semi-serious playing situation. However, let's up the ante now, and this is what you could do to win Minnesota a championship, because that's the end goal at the end of the day.
I mean, I agree to an extent, but I just, like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I believe it when I see LaMelo playing at a super high level, elevating that Minnesota team. I mean, obviously, it's still super early in the summer, so I feel like both these teams in Charlotte and Minnesota are still going to make certain moves to try and, kind of fill out their teams in certain ways. But again, like I keep repeating, if I'm Charlotte, heartbroken. And you're on mute.
Wow, twice in one video. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is not
good.
true.
One more of that, you're off, mate. One more of that early shower.
This is not a true representation of what I'm about. Trust me. But
raw and uncut.
You can tell I've had a long day at work.
Is the heat, man.
I'm just going to read to you. Oh, Josh Green was involved in the trade as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention that.
He's JG, man.
Australian Aussie. He's a decent little player. He is. I'm going to read to you the roster now, and you can tell me Stateside. Now, because we did that with Charlotte, it's only fair to do it now with the Timberwolves. How are you feeling after this trade? Because Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Ayo Dosunmu, DiVincenzo, but he's going to be out for a while. Mike Conley, Bones Highland, Josh Green, Terrence Shannon Jr., Jaden Clark, decent guard, Zion Pullen, I want to say that's a rookie, I might be wrong. Jaden McDaniels, Kyle Anderson, who's Chinese now. Didn't know that, but there you go. Beringer, Phillips, Rudy Gobert, and Zikaransky, another Aussie, big man, tall, 7'3", I think. Wemby stopper? Let me not say too much. Hearing that roster,
I mean, bro,
what are you saying?
The players that I feel like will play significant minutes. It's like I keep saying, what did the babe say? Like, size matters. I'm not hearing a lot of.
They got big.
Raw and uncut. I'm not hearing a lot of size.
Well, not enough girth.
There's a lot of like 3s, 2s.
Is that not what basketball is now? You don't want a championship playing a 6'5" power forward.
Yeah, but then there's OKC is a what do you call it? It's an anomaly.
Are they the exception, not the rule?
Exactly, it's an anomaly. And obviously you saw with San Antonio, they tried to do that. A lot of like guards and then Wemby. But then the Knicks just took advantage of that. Josh Hart, Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Cat, all of these guys, Mitch Robinson coming off the bench. That's size. Do you know what I mean? These are grown men. OKC it's an anomaly in that sense. I just feel like the Timberwolves. What's made the Timberwolves great this past couple of years is the size, is the athleticism, is how they.
Melo's a good 6'7".
Yeah, but he's not even a great defender. I think he's light in the back pocket, as they say.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those. I'm just gonna have my doubts with the Timberwolves team because I've just known what this Timberwolves team has been like under Coach Finchy. You know what I mean? And now they're kind of veering away from the size and length that they've always had. That's bother teams like OKC in the past as well. So, like I said, I'm just a bit apprehensive, but like I said, I'll believe everything that you're saying, everything that a lot of people are saying in terms of how good it will be for the Timberwolves when I see it. Right now, I'm not buying it.
I am. I'm sipping some of the Timberwolves Kool-Aid, as they say over there, stateside. You know.
I hear it, man.
Speaking of stateside, like, share, comment, rate, subscribe if you enjoy what you listen to. If you're somehow not aware of the podcast is all your podcasting platforms. They're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Trust me. Just search it; it'll be there. I promise you. We're here every week. We don't take days off. Every week, once a week, maybe twice a week if you're lucky.
If you're lucky,
cases
it's
like
a big
this,
trade guy.
If you're lucky, we didn't break it per se, but might be some Kawhi movement coming up very soon. But keep it locked in, man. We're gonna be here all summer long until the new season starts. Every week, doesn't matter rain, shine, hail, or snow. We'll be here with special guests as well. Special guests.
We've got some snow.
Yeah. We've got one coming up next week, hopefully in the next episode to hopefully look forward to. So myself, Stateside Humph, back again next week.
Same time next week, man. Same time next week. This heat is caning me right now.
It's murdering me. Stilly, I can't lie. But until then, chapettes, speak to you next week. Hopefully with some more trade news. Catch you on the flip side.
In a bit.